Hello and welcome back to Mzansi. We're back again. It is that time of the night where we have to talk about Senzo Meyiwa's case. Emily, how are you doing? I see you're still fixing yourself.
I am fixing myself. I mean, after that whole sound debacle and stuff, I'm very, very skeptical. I just want to make sure that I've got the right position and everybody can hear me clearly. Okay? I don't want any more mishaps and stuff. So I'm super careful now. Now I care. I care a lot.
Yeah.
So hi guys, welcome back to the Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us yet again for another deliberation on the court proceedings, the very exhausting court proceedings that are taking place at the Senzo Meyiwa Trial, Pretoria High Court.
Yeah.
Kwaze kwanzima landela evidence. And when you look at the evidence, it's not even pertaining to 2014.
Yes.
I don't know what is happening. Is the state winning? Is the state proving its case?
No.
What is happening, you guys? What is going on in that courtroom? And why is the judge allowing it to continue? I am very concerned. Why are we here? What is happening?
Well, let's see what happened so that we can dissect what is happening.
Well, Advocate Mshololo began her cross-examination of cellphone data analyst Veiws, and she started off by saying that, you know what, no, she didn't start off. First, let's do a mini recap to say that yesterday the matter stood down because she wanted consultation time with her client, accused number 5. And she said that they were able to use the time, and if she needed to go to accused number 2 to consult in the midst of her cross-examination, she said that she will indicate that accused number 5 wants to speak to her. We also heard for the first time yesterday that accused number 1, Moses Bia, was accused number 4, or is accused number 4, Thokoziseni Mapisa's nephew. And also
Lungisani. It's not the first time
Lungisani.
we're hearing that.
It's not. For me, it was.
We have heard somewhere that Thokoziseni is actually related to accused number 1.
But we didn't know how.
Yeah.
Oh, did we? We didn't know how.
I think we heard it's the first time that there's
Bashobene.
relationship. Yeah. We heard long time. It's not the first time we're hearing it. It's just that now it is being put
In court.
like this.
And also that Lungisani, now today we found out it's Ndwandwe. He's also nephew to accused number 4.
Yeah, which is in line with Nongoma people. You'd understand that Ndwandwes, most of them, they come from that side of Nongoma, because Nongoma itself is Natal Ndwandwe, which remember now the number plate came out to be NND.
NND.
Yeah.
Ndwandwe, Natal Ndwandwe. I didn't know that. General information right there. Sprinkle. Well, Veiws also revealed a web of phone calls between Mapisa and the co-accused, but these were between 2018 and 2021, of which could be compromised considering the fact that they went on to say that Lungisani was accused number 5. That debacle right there, that glitch right there, will change this entire statement if Lungisani comes to testify in court and take ownership of some of those numbers.
Yeah.
Well, Mshololo started with the testimony on Colonel Lamberta Steyn, another cell phone data analyst who took to the stand, and Mshololo started off by asking Veiws Colonel Steyn testified before this court on the following dates: the 27th of July 2023, the 28th of July 2023, the 31st of July, and the 1st of August 2023. In other words, the evidence regarding the cell phone and communication had already been tendered before this court, and Ho said that he could not comment. He was not there. And Mshololo asked, that's why I'm informing you. You testified that you started investigating this matter the 6th of September 2023 when Brigadier Gininda asked you to. And Ho said yes. Mshololo then said, when you were asked to do further investigations, the trial had already started. And Ho said that's correct. And this information you brought now before this court was not available to the defense at the start of the trial because you were only instructed in September of 2023. And Ho said that's correct. But the cell phones were found during the trial. That is why that he was able to do analysis on the phone. The trial was already ongoing. Some of the cell phones were found in possession of the accused. Is this true? Is this statement from Gideon Ho's what we have found out in court? Were the cell phones taken when the trial began or before?
It is not clear. They are saying, in a sense, they were taken during the case. Is that what I heard?
That's what Gideon Ho's is saying.
Yes, that's what I heard, and it goes back to the same thing as to what is the relevance of these cell phones. Now that the number, the 2018 number,
yes,
now points to Lungisani Ndwande. What is even the relevance of this? Yes, Lungisani Ndwande might call these people,
but he still called them in 2018.
In 2018, yes, that's a problem.
2018,
yes.
2020.
I see other people who are lazy to think. I would say people are lazy to think, and that's a problem. You say it's a cousin. So what? Because he could have been. Yes, he's a cousin. When was accused number 3 arrested?
Accused number 3 was arrested in 2015.
2015. So this number, which is common now, commonly used as accused number 5, calls these people while they are in jail. I mean, what's the relevance of that? Where does it take us? Even if it's a cousin who happens to know these people, who's in their circle. So what?
Now my problem is this has nothing to do with 2014.
Exactly, it has nothing to do with 2014. That number is not linking back to accused number 3 during 2014. It's not doing that number. It's not doing that.
What is the relevance? What is the point?
Because initially, we thought that we are proving that, okay,
they knew each
other. But also, it was after the case has started.
Yes. It was after the case had begun. It was after some of them were incarcerated for other crimes. So, what are we doing? Where are we going? What is the relevance?
And you cannot even also provide Section 205 for that number. All of a sudden.
All of a sudden, right?
You can provide Section 205. However, the judges decide to interfere, trying to make it, who's this person? The best thing is to keep quiet about this judge for now. Let's continue.
Well, Well, Mshololo then said which cell phones were found in possession of the accused. And Ho said that he had already testified about that. That was accused 2 and accused number 5 cell phones. So Ho is saying that accused number 2, Bongani Ntanzi's cell phone, was found after the trial began, which is not the evidence that has prior been presented in court, because from what we remember, they said that they took them before the trial began, right?
And it changed that narrative, was it Muhula?
Yes.
Who changed the narrative about also accused number 1. I think this is a for cell phone of accused number 1. Now we see where why it was changed to align with this theory of they were calling each other.
And then accused number 5, there's one cell phone that was taken from his prison cell that they allege was his, right? In his cell, right? That is in 2018 when this cell phone is taken, and he was already incarcerated for another crime that he did, right? So
by incarcerated by who's this police?
Maku, Warrant Officer
by the way.
Maku.
Yes.
So why is Ho saying that these cell phones were taken after the trial began? Why is he saying that?
I don't know.
Well, then Mshololo then said, when were those cell phones recovered? The one for accused number 2, do you have the information or do you not have the information? Well, Baloyi stood to object here, saying that this witness is an analyst. He said it during cross-examination, and the judge added on to say that he doesn't investigate. So literally, they were saving hoes here.
Yeah, they are trying to protect their hoes, because one thing for sure, I think it's either he knew or he doesn't know. Allegedly, it seems as if he's being thrown into the deep end.
Yes.
To come and rescue the situation of staying.
He's drowning.
And from my own thinking, I think Stein said, no, I can no longer do this.
I'm starting to believe that as well.
You know?
I mean, we could even tell with his demeanor of his voice at the time that he was testifying that Stein was not really comfortable. We could tell, you know, we even talked about it on the platform, that he didn't sound like he's comfortable with the evidence that he's giving.
Yes.
And
I mean, people retire every day, but they finish their evidence.
Yeah, they do. They come back and they are recalled. Even this judge, I mean, he's
retired also, this judge.
He's recalled. So it's not like they are immune to be recalled to come and testify on the evidence that they worked on while they were still working. But somehow it feels like Stein does not want anything to do with this case anymore. In my opinion, I feel like he called it quits and said, I'm not coming back. Find somebody else. Get someone else to do it. So, and also the judge was like, we were all following the evidence. So he further asked Hose if he investigates anything, and Hose said that he only does analysis, so the questions that are asked must be answered by the investigating officer.
No. Stein was part of the investigation team.
Yes.
He took over from Sting.
Yes.
Now she's an analyst.
No,
isn't that being an analyst, being an
investigator
also?
Well. It is.
Because you draw certain conclusions now and then on your report.
Yes. So all of a sudden he's come back with his initial cross-examination. He didn't do this. He didn't throw it to the investigating officer, investigating team. It's like a new trick that he recently learned, in my opinion, because we've heard other police officers do it in their testimonies. It seems like he was also he got a hold of this strategy that if you cannot answer, give it to the investigating officer.
Exactly.
I was emphasizing it a lot yesterday. I don't know how many people caught it, but it seems like this is gonna be a modus operandi of Colonel Gideon Hose. And we've seen it before from other police officers. So he said, I can testify about the analysis that I have done. So Mshololo asked him, unfortunately, Colonel Hose, you have to testify on the facts and on the evidence of which you have full knowledge. You understand? And Hose said, I understand. I've got full knowledge of the Section 205. The investigation officer must testify when and where the cell phone was found. That's nothing to do with me. I am a cell phone analyst,
but you
not the
brought
investigating
that into
officer.
Court. You brought that into court. That question was a line of questioning because you said these cell phones were found in possession of the accused. That means you know where they were found, how they were found. So that was the right question to ask. If you are giving more information than you are supposed to do, what are we supposed to do? Not follow up on that information? We are supposed to follow up on that information because you are giving more than we know.
Yes. Yes.
So there's nothing wrong with the line of questioning. There was nothing wrong with the line of questioning. You needed to be asked that question because you are portraying knowledge of where these cell phones were gotten. And it is important. You're saying it in court. Do you understand?
Yes.
That means you are
under
sure
oath
of what you're saying. So now if you change and go back and say, no, you're making it now, after the judge, by the way, intervened.
And assisted.
Because we see the judge assisting you all the time. Even Malo doesn't need to object.
No.
The judge is there to assist.
To cover. If it looks like the bucket is leaking, he's right there at the right time on the right moment to cover.
It's like there's discussion. Good to, hey, we in case, don't worry, I'll cover.
Well, Mshololo said, but you are the one who told me that there are cell phones that were recovered from some of the accused when the trial had already started. Am I wrong? And Ho said, that's correct, but that was according to my evidence. Now I'm asking you, Mshololo said, which accused are you referring to? And Ho said, that's what I said after the analysis. After the trial had started, I was informed by Brigadier Gininda that the cell phones were found in possession of the accused. He must come and testify when it was found, and I was only instructed to do Section 205. I can't tell when it was found. That must be done by the investigating officer. When you don't know and you are found wandering, throw it to the investigating officer. When you are not knowing what to answer and how to answer it, throw it to the... We've seen Mohani do this. We've seen Mohola do this. Subsequently to the effect of that.
You have to do that.
Yes. So Mshololo then asked, I'm going to plead with you so that we run smoothly, that if you do not have evidence of any information and you rely on the evidence of someone else, don't say it in court, because I thought you had knowledge of the accused and the cell phones that you were referring to. And Ho said, my lord, I gave a statement of the cell phone analysis that I have done on accused number 2 and accused number 5. There was a request from Brigadier Gininda to do analysis. So that's all the knowledge I have. I have received the download of the cell phones and I've done the analysis on the 2 cell phones. I can't tell when it was found by the brigadier or the investigation team. I can't testify on that. So Mshololo asked, it's hearsay what you are saying. And Ho said, how can it be hearsay? What hearsay are you talking about, my lord? Exhibit 5 says I received a cell phone downloading from Brigadier Gininda. That's not hearsay. My statement has been given in. My statement was already given in court. So that's not hearsay.
That is a deflating from the situation. The fact that you are answering wrong questions on the basis of hearsays. Someone says something, you take it to that court. You make it like you have knowledge of that. And that is where the problem is. Hence the question you were asked as to where when this cell phone were found. Where? You understand? Because you are giving that information.
Yes. And then Mshololo asked, when did you receive that instruction? You know, and Ho said that it was 2023 09 04. So this is the 4th of August 2023, when Brigadier Gininda asked him to assist Colonel Steyn, and was about to go on pension. Colonel Steyn was about to go on pension. So this is August. This is after Steyn testified, because last day was on the 1st of August 2023. I'm guessing after that testimony and being in the hot seat like that, he was like, hell no, I'm not going back there. Then Ho said that he received a CD in a sealed forensic bag. And this is where now I become very confused. What do you mean a sealed bag? Because a sealed bag, you are not supposed to be getting a sealed bag if Colonel Steyn has already opened
You are
the bag.
supposed to be getting a sealed bag, but a new sealed bag. That's where the problem is.
A new one.
Yes.
That's from Colonel Steyn after he opened it, because he worked on the CD as well, right?
Yes.
So after Colonel Steyn was done, he was supposed to put it in a sealed bag and give it to Hose. Right. That's what would normally happen.
That is procedural. Now this is where you find the judge interfering. The judge is trying now to use the pictures to demonstrate
that the bag was sealed.
Hey, this judge is overreaching, man. This judge is overreaching. Ngenaphi wena? Ngenaphi in terms of what or how this thing was sealed. Now you are the master of how bags are sealed. Is that your position now? Do you even know anything about that?
I've been in these court cases a million times. I've been dealing with these court cases for a million years. We don't care at this point.
We don't care, man. We don't care. Clearly, it shows that knowing or being around more doesn't make you the master of these things.
No.
Because you still come back and make high school mistakes.
Yes. Doesn't make you an expert.
You still are in your emotions.
Yes.
You still are just not as professional as you are supposed to be.
Yes.
In my opinion.
Yes. It's a very, very good opinion.
So it doesn't make you the master. To come and interfere now and tell us about the pictures. You see the pictures. Because someone came in that court and presented as if that bag was touched. And you are going to ignore that. You are going to read the oath that was read by or written by House that this is the case. You are not going to worry about the fact that someone presented a narrative as if this thing was unsealed. You're not gonna worry about the even a chance that Steyn House could be lying himself. He could be using the pictures that he took that were taken by Steyn.
Taking credit and ownership of someone else's work in a court of law.
As if you did it. You are not worried about that.
Doesn't bother the judge at all.
You come with
That's none of his concern.
The
Steyn is retired. He's on pension.
You're not worried about checking what Steyn presented. Isn't it the same pictures that Steyn presented, these ones?
I don't think he cares.
You are losing that chance of seeing that these people could be lying.
Doesn't want to see it that they are lying.
Because you are defending them.
Yes. Doesn't want to see it.
This shows that whatever the defense shows or whatever the defense proves, it's like when you came with this mandate to make sure that you rubbishes everything that they say.
You scratch everything.
You scratch everything they say.
You remove it off the record, or you find a way of counteracting it so that it makes it look
Hey, this man.
I've never seen anything like
taking a
this
position
in
of
my
a
entire
witness.
life.
He's
My
taking a
whole
position
life.
of being a prosecutor.
A witness.
The witness is a judge. Then you say this judge is really looking for proper answers. In my opinion, I don't see that. I don't see that.
It seems like the petition is not working.
Even if, look, I don't want to drag any other things. I'm just going to talk court.
All right.
Even if someone was to come and say, I saw so and so should Senzo, this judge will not be swayed. Anything that is said against the state is the lie. Someone was showing the signs of triggers and all that. You know, anything that is said about the what we call the state. Buthelezi came, he said what he said. He changed, it flipped.
He was threatened.
He flipped, you know, and then the judge find a way of saying that he was threatened. Now, there is a bag that is not, that Stein said he opened it. Even Muhola sent that back to Stein with a cell phone and the CD. So the downloading had already happened. And then someone comes and say, he also had the very same bag, the privilege of working on the very same bag, sealed.
Unsealed. No, sealed. Sorry,
Sealed.
my apologies. Sealed. Not opened and not tampered with.
And the very same person says, I took the database of Stein. So it doesn't ring a bell that it could be the pictures from the database of Stein that are being used. No, it shouldn't be like that.
As
It
long
can
as
never be
the
like that.
pictures are with him, it means he's the one
He's
who
the one who
took
did
them.
it. The judge goes on to read the oath of this man, knowing and understanding that lying in court, as if that court has respect or whatsoever, that hogwash court, as if there is any respect left in that court. As if people don't lie with a straight face in the very same
respect
court.
is gone. It's out of the window. I even saw Mshololo with her cross-examination. She was focused. She was a focused woman today. Very focused. The judge tried to come at her. You know those intimidation tactics. It gave me memories of being treated like that at work, like gaslit, where someone is poking you just to get a reaction out of you, so that you react, and they have a reason to say, "Oh, but you are not professional. You're not professional." That's how it felt. It felt
That
like
is how
I was being poked ever since
how
yesterday.
it is done, and even in the olden days.
It felt that way, but she was focused. I have to give it to her. Under those circumstances, a lot of people don't make it like that. She was calm. Okay, she was calm, and she did her best. So I saw the judge. The judge was trying to rattle her, to make her react in a very unpleasant manner. But she kept it together. She kept it together all through and through. There are many attacks. I lost count today, but she kept it together. So Mshololo then said, my point was at this area of the unconstitutionality of your evidence that you conducted investigations after Colonel Stein had already testified. Now I have to admit, I have never heard of this word unconstitutionality before. I was like, okay, what an interesting way of putting. But yeah, unconstitutionality. Advocate Balo interjected. They don't want to hear trigger words. Prejudice, unconstitutional. What else? There are certain words that if they are called out in the prejudice, if they are called out, the state will react. And Advocate Baloyi said that he does not know where the unconstitutionality comes in if his learned friend wants to bring an application for the exclusion of the witness's evidence by all means. But it cannot be put to this witness, meaning Veiws, that their evidence is unconstitutional without laying the basis for that. The witness cannot really give an opinion on that. It's for the court to decide whether the evidence is constitutional or not. So the judge asked that Colonel Veiws also wanted to answer. Veiws said that the records had not been received when Colonel Steyn testified.
Isn't it funny that Baloyi presented this as if Veiws did an extra job just because he was provoked by the questions that were put by the defense, and then quickly, all of a sudden, it's because these files were not given to Veiws at the time. Yet Veiws was allocated to this job while Steyn was still there. Funny how the court forgets.
And the judge overlooks all of this.
Yeah. If you have...
Doesn't matter to him.
It's like, it's as if someone is given one mandate, and that mandate, come hell or high water, is to make sure that you see that theory the same, the way you were given. And that's my opinion. I'm not saying that is the case. But in my opinion, it's as if someone was given a certain mandate. That's how it looks like. You cannot overlook that.
Well, he said that Colonel Steyn only testified on the Section 205s. He could not testify on the cell phone downloads because it was not yet found at that stage. Hi, Bonina. On Steyn's testimony, there was no emphasis on Section 205s.
No.
In fact, that's why they were even requested when Veiws decided to come in. And Steyn was talking about the downloads.
Not the Section 205s. That must be said. Steyn was hammering on the downloads. Then the downloads were requested because of that.
Well, the judge said that for the court's purposes, he said that this court is not going to allow unconstitutional evidence. He told Mshololo to tell the court where is the unconstitutionality of the evidence of this client. The judge asked Mshololo to explain why she says his evidence is unconstitutional because the court is bound not to hear unconstitutional evidence. Well, Mshololo said that she will do it as she goes down with her cross-examination, and the judge commanded her to do it now, forcing her to do it now, because she is putting it.
Whatever Mshololo did to that man, if there's anything
at all,
that judgment, there's no respect or whatsoever for Mshololo.
He does not respect Mshololo.
Sometimes
I
say I bash Mshololo here when something that I don't think is helping the case is happening. But I think at some point,
kukhona man into engathi i-personal.
Yeah, at some point, someone's gonna say it. There is like this sort of salty relationship that they have. I don't know.
Kukhona a beef. Something is off there.
Such that even Mshololo did not answer that question because it didn't feel. It felt forced.
And it felt like it was another opportunity for her to be attacked.
Yes.
And I think she's over that.
And not only that, he did eventually come to that.
He did. Well, Mshololo said that, she continued basically with Veiws and decided to not really entertain what the judge was doing.
Yes, ignored.
She ignored it.
She ignored it.
she said, you are saying, looking at Host, you are saying that Colonel Steyn testified on incomplete investigation as the downloads had not been done. When you received the instructions to conduct the investigation, the accused had already listened to the evidence of Colonel Steyn, and after that, the investigating officer asked you to conduct further investigation. And Ho said that, I can't answer that. It is up to the court to decide the constitutionality. While the judge stopped Mshololo and said that otherwise they are going to be running around like headless chickens. He asked Mr. Mgomezulu if he remembers that he once came with the same submission. Then he stopped a witness from testifying about an exigency which had already been traversed earlier, and he said that he quoted the case which is written by Deputy Judge President Roland and Opperman to say an investigating officer can investigate right up to the stage where a judgment is supposed to be written. He said that he actually gave yet another case, an example of a case in the CSA, the Supreme Court of Appeal, where his brother, Judge Mothopo, took part in that case, where he said that the CSA was listening to a case which was on appeal, and counsel for the state came in and said that the state has received and recovered evidence which was not traversed in the trial. And he asked Mgomezulu if he remembers that evidence. And the CSA stopped the proceedings and made an order that evidence must be received, and after it has been received, the case must be brought back. And he said, I can give you the citations, true cases of full benches. And even yesterday, I quoted a case by Traverso and Van Heerde, which traverses the same exigency. And he read it. He continued to read again for us. He read it, and it said he continued to read it, and he said that there is a duty on a prosecutor to ensure that all relevant information is placed before the presiding officer, and it must not be left to the accused to do so. Meaning, even the counsels of the accused, the duty to ensure that justice is done rests on all the officers of the court. It is not the duty which is only to the state and the presiding officer. He said that this is what the law said and not him. But this paragraph, in my opinion, says nothing about it being constitutional. That new evidence is always introduced in the trial, or that another witness's testimony can be taken, replaced by another witness. None of that. In my opinion, what he just read doesn't address that. It's talking about something else. It's talking about the introduction of new evidence in a general form. It's not really talking about the situation that is at hand, where Steyn is done testifying.
That hate, or whatever that I perceive that as, for me, this is my opinion. I've seen it between two women.
Right, pull her down at the workplace.
At the workplace.
I have been a victim of it. Where I have been humiliated and embarrassed by females at the workplace.
Where they will make sure that they end up having that win, even show or mobile flow with you if the word is there in English.
Shout at you like a child in front of your colleagues.
I've seen that. But I don't
make a show
it to be in that court, considering that the judge is a male judge.
It's very weird.
It's very, very weird.
It's very weird. It's giving pull her down female energy.
Yes, that's the weight.
Well, basically, he was arguing on behalf of the state that it is not unconstitutional for investigating officers to consistently start over, introduce new evidence in the middle of a trial. Mind you, Steyn has already testified, and he finished his testimony.
Yes. That's where I have a problem, because he was talking about the downloads. Then it's like de novo. So what Steyn did?
Yeah,
is de
Steyn
novo.
is de novo. It's been done by Horse. It's de novo. Well, Horse has come to testify on what Steyn has already testified on. And the judge says that this is a continuation of an investigation.
Do you understand me? This is where now you see this judge icon is there. Like he's there on that investigation. You know, he knows his answers for them before the states even say that he's got a way of saying it. The state comes and present House as a person who's here to present Section 205s. And then all of a sudden, new information comes up. Continuation of investigation. That's the way, Judge. That's how the states are supposed to present this.
And he undermines people because he's doing this and he's thinking that no one is seeing what is happening or what. I don't understand. That by the time he's done, maybe you are left feeling confused. I can only imagine being an accused with such a judge. Every day when you leave that courtroom, you wonder what happened, especially if you've got a swag lawyer.
That reminds me of that guy who was in some these channels where they talk about how they were arrested, talking about the judge that is in Bafana's case now.
Oh yes.
And that judge is a judge of what? Of color.
Yes. No, of no color.
Of no color.
Of
yes.
no color.
Yes.
Bershoff.
Yes.
Yeah, apparently is known there by the Alexandra Magistrate Court, allegedly.
You know, that reminds me of that. It has, yeah. You must have really graduated under certain people to actually have these same characters.
So what this person was alleging, you guys, is that there was no evidence against them.
The only sin they did was to pick down the phone as a security guard.
Yes, as a security guard
and
at
submit
work.
it to the
The investigating officer.
Yes. And then from
to
there,
say that one of the people that came here and did this crime dropped this phone here. And by that he was accused of being the one who invaded his own workplace and committed the crime. I think it was a theft and robbery. And he said there was no evidence against him. None.
How can you take a cell phone down and then give it to an investigating person, say, here's the phone that was dropped by this person, and then all of a sudden you see yourself at the end of the law?
He said that judge looked at him and decided to give him 15 years. He looked at him and gave him... Yo, guys, itrauma engaga. Itrauma phela leyo. 15. And the evidence is not there. All he did was do the right thing, pick up a phone and give to them. No wonder why people don't want to be seen to be witnesses in the country.
No.
Nobody wants.
No one.
No one gets
unless
involved.
we are forced. Please like the video, guys. Let's like the video and share the video and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Join the membership if you're not joining. If you have not joined yet, we still need you.
Yes.
We still need people to join and enjoy our.
And by the way, we're still working on the national NHI. We're still working on it.
Yes, we are for members. Yeah.
So his interpretation of what he just read is that the fact that Colonel Steyn investigated the evidence regarding the accused, and as you put it, Colonel Hose is also investigating the same evidence which was traversed after Steyn had testified and after Steyn had been cross-examined, does not debar this court from admitting that evidence. That's what basically the judge said. And Mshololo asked if she should not proceed with that, and the judge said that
the people who who are supposed to be asking questions to these people, confusing them because he's there, man. He's doing everything.
Jabbity, there within. He has to say something, and it's very, very, very weird. I don't think we've ever seen such a courtroom in this country. It's weird. Yeah. We can't get used to it. The level of professionalism coming from the judge is unusual. It's very unusual. We've never seen anything like it before. So, yeah, excuse us. Yes. Well, Mshololo said that, should she proceed or not? And the judge was there saying that he was telling her the law and she can do whatever she wants to do. Well, Mshololo continued and asked Veiws, the evidence that you tendered in your examination in chief was new evidence which had not been furnished to the accused before the start of this trial. And Veiws said that it was evidence found after the start of the trial. And Veiws also commented that he could not have given it to the defense before the trial had started because the new evidence was found after the trial had started. So Mshololo asked, my lord, I want to make this point. The evidence by this witness has not been furnished to the defense before this trial started. And the judge asked Baloyi, and he said, Mr. Baloyi, they say the evidence which this witness testified in court on the 16th, 17th, and 18th was new evidence. In other words, you never gave the accused that evidence. You ambushed them. And Baloyi stood to say that the court would recall that when they postponed the matter last week, they indicated that the evidence is already contained in that affidavit of Colonel Steyn and that the witness is building on that record, meaning that they're introducing new evidence. So the judge said that as he understands it, and if Colonel Steyn didn't retire, it would not have a necessity for Colonel Veiws to analyze that evidence. It is an exigency which is predicated upon the retirement of Colonel Steyn. And this witness says Gininda said I should assist and take over after the retirement. So it's not like there is ambushing. Steyn has retired. If he had not retired, he was supposed to traverse the same evidence. Now, from what I recall, Steyn was done with this evidence. I also do not recall a formal application being mentioned for him to come and testify again. And in the case that he could not come again and testify, Veiws would be testifying on his behalf. But Veiws came out of nowhere, really. He came out of nowhere.
Problem.
Well, the judge said to Mshololo that it's fine. She can make that point and argue it if she thinks he is wrong. To demonstrate that he is wrong, because why not make a ruling and say, Mshololo, stop? To demonstrate that he is well aware. He's well aware of what he's doing, and he's well aware that he cannot stop Mshololo from cross-examining on this aspect. But he interjects, and he has a lot to say, and he is speaking on behalf of Veiws, like he knows Veiws, like they work together, like I don't understand. I don't get it. Well, Mshololo said, my lord, I am glad to hear that from the state, or to hear the state's submission that the testimony of this witness is built from the testimony of Colonel Steyn. The judge asked what is wrong with that, and Mshololo said, I'm not saying that there's something wrong. My point is that the evidence that the witness is currently testifying about was not available and was not furnished to the defense before the trial started. But the witness has already testified to say yes. The judge and Veiws disagreed, and Veiws said that he could not have given the evidence to them because the evidence was not found after the trial started. He said, I couldn't have given it after the trial started. It's new evidence that was found during the trial. So the judge said that he listens when he's in court. Well, not necessarily, but we move.
No.
The evidence in the section 205 was originally downloaded into a disk, and the disk was given to everyone. The judge said it was given to every one of you here in October last year. Am I wrong? He made that whole thing, that whole theatric that he always does. But why is it that now Steyn is bringing in this new Section 205s that Steyn never testified on and mentioned, and you all are saying that they are in this disc that nobody succeeded to open?
Do you understand that disc? I think at some point in time, the judge must be told, my lord, why don't we just give you this disc and you show us this information?
Please show us this information.
Because it seems as if you are relying on it, my lord.
Please. And demonstrate it on the wall for all of us to see. I guess there's a projector in the court. Please demonstrate it to us, because we could not open this disc. And somehow you are pinning everything to this disc. The problem here, guys, is that Steyn never testified on Section 205s.
No.
That are said to be in that disc.
No.
That they got at the beginning.
No.
And the judge insists. He insists.
Usiso Sakoni, thank you very much for your gift. Thank you for your super chat.
Thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much. Well, Baloyi said that it was in fact given to them in the beginning, and in October it was for the second time. So Baloyi is saying that at the beginning of the trial, and you have to note that most of these counsel were not there at the beginning of the trial. It was only Advocate Mshololo. He gave it at the beginning of the trial. And he said again for the second time he gave it in October to this current counsel. Well, except from Mgomezulu. I don't think Mgomezulu was there. So Mshololo continued and said that the evidence you tendered on the 16th, 17th and 18th was new evidence which was not furnished to the defense before the trial started. And Baloyi read Steyn's evidence from his affidavit, where he said that there's links between the targets. There's a diagram, he said, linking all the accused. So why is Advocate Baloyi hammering on this linkage on all of the accused? So much so that he has to pull what Steyn said a couple of months ago, saying that there's linkage between all of the accused. Host is repeating it. But why does Advocate Baloyi feel the need to emphasize it on the record? I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand the end goal here. Maybe someone gets it.
The end goal is to ignore everything that is happening, even Lungisani's number. And we have this hogwash.
Well, Mshololo then said as a result of that, the accused, specifically accused number 5, started conducting this trial when he had been furnished with the evidence. And Mshololo wanted to refer to Steyn's record of the court on the 16th of February. The judge said that Host was not there. He said that he cannot comment because he was not in court. Literally, the judge was now answering on behalf of
Before he even
Host.
answered.
Yeah, he was giving him a direction of where he needed to go before he answered Mshololo.
Exactly.
So Mshololo got annoyed and told Steyn to better listen to what she was saying instead of answering before she even finishes with her sentence. She said it's wrong. And no one said anything, to my surprise. I was expecting Advocate Baloyi to stand up and be like, objection, but nothing. Well, Mshololo read the transcript of the events of the 16th of April. Well, she had made a mistake by saying February. It's actually the 16th of April. She quoted a part from the transcript.
That message was directed to the judge, in my own opinion.
It's wrong.
Because who answered first? Isn't it the judge?
It is the judge. It is the
Mr.
judge.
Know-it-all. Mr. Know-it-all.
It is the judge, yes.
Answer.
Well, she quoted a part from the transcript where Ho said that he received the disc. She asked, was this bag sealed? And Ho said, yes, it was. Mshololo now turned to the 15th of April, where Mogani said that to have been given a sealed bag containing a cell phone. Mshololo said that Mogani, under his evidence, he testified that there was one cell phone in the bag with one CD sealed in a bag. And she mentioned the seal bag number. And Ho said that he does not know about that because he was not there. So Mshololo then said, you see the seal bag that you received, the exhibits from Colonel Steyn, and the one of Mogani is the same. And Ho said yes. And the CD was investigated by many people up to Colonel Steyn. And Colonel Steyn was the last person who handed this exhibit to you. And Ho said that he disagreed. The CD was new evidence. He said, yes. I was the only one who did cell phone analysis on the download. No one else.
The only one. Let us pause there. Please like the video. On that, thank you, Ansi K. Moyo. Thank you for not just being our moderator and also just gifting us.
Thank you for the gift, Ansi K. Moyo. Thank you.
We appreciate you. You are doing more than one would expect from you. You are a moderator. You are there pushing people to like. And on top of that, you still assist us financially. Thank you. We appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
So
and
the issue
may God increase where you take
yes.
the finances from.
In fact, we appreciate you more than you appreciate us. So now the issue of a disc.
Yes.
So this disc was worked by someone else.
Yes.
But now, because the judge has verified it as being sealed, it is that. It was worked only by a host.
By host.
That's how crucial it is for this judge to intervene and what it means. It's like he wants to believe his theory.
Yes.
He wants to just understand his theory. It's like you are convincing yourself on your theory. You are still going to make a judgment, right? If anything has to be said. Someone on Twitter said, hey, I think this judge has the what we call the judgment already.
I also used to insinuate that it feels like, when you've written something, right, and you've made your conclusions. I'm going to use an example of a research paper. You want your empirical, your thesis, your everything, the body of your research project to align with the conclusion. Everything you are working on, the tables, the graphs, as you are working on that research paper in between, you want it to align with the conclusion.
You understand?
That is the energy I am getting from that.
In fact, let's put it like this. It's like taking a conclusion or writing a conclusion. First. Then you have to write your whole paper.
Yes.
That without even finding the results as yet, if you are going to run certain models or writing certain
you
things.
don't know what is going to happen.
But the conclusion is such that it goes to a certain direction, which is a definition of biasness even in stats or anything.
Biased data, yes.
Because you end up manipulating the data to actually confess to what you want. So, however
it's giving very much that. It's giving that. It's giving, I am directing this to where it's supposed to go.
I'm not gonna talk about people who come here and change the story or not agree to a story that I know. The story that I know
that does not align with my conclusion. It's giving very much that, you guys. I don't know whether I don't know how many, but most of us have written essays, right? You know how at the end you have to write that beautiful conclusion that summarizes everything that you've been saying in your paper, right? It feels like that's what he has, And everything else in the body of the essay has to align.
You know how,
with that
when that used to happen?
Where?
When you don't do your research on an essay and you just take someone else's conclusion and put it there. And then no, you change that thing of turn it in. You try to paraphrase, but the conclusion is that of that person who did the research on the certain thing. And then now you've got the conclusion. Now you have to go to the body and everything so that it aligns to that conclusion. Exactly what I see in that court.
That's not good coming from a judge. That is why most judges keep quiet. And when they're seeking clarity, they're honestly seeking clarity. You can even see with how they ask that I'm seeking clarity, and you feel it. You don't have this thing in the back of your mind that why does it feel like I'm being led to believe that this is where it's being headed. This is where we are going. You know what else gives it away, Mr. Anonymous? When he decides to chill and fold his arms while Mshololo is cross-examining, or any of the defense counsels are cross-examining. And at the time that he slits in with his comments or statements or questions that are seeking clarity, he's now writing down. He's focused. He's writing down.
Yes,
and I'm like, why is it that these little glitches that we consider are a hindrance, you are not even writing them down?
Then when you start asking a question, then you start writing down.
This is like this when they're cross-examining.
And it's not like those questions are actually helping the defense. They are mostly, actually they are 100% most of the time, but not even most of the time, all the time, helping the defense, the NPA.
Yes. Well, Mshololo then said, and also before I continue, you know how this ownership of hosts owning or Stein's work, I feel like the job here is to completely take Stein out of the picture.
Yes, they were kind of throwing Stein out of under the bus by saying he could have, this is like insinuating that he could have been lying that he opened the downloads. You know, that's what it felt like.
It reminds me of Maumela when they said he appointed himself. You know, it feels like, could Stein have left?
That's why now I say I don't think Stein could continue with this evidence at all. Not because of, in my opinion, of this so-called retiring.
Because giving elements of Stein has been thrown under the bus here.
It gives that. So it's like, now, it's not Host who's lying. Or without any investigation, who's lying between them? Not clear.
Well, Mshololo then said, but Colonel Stein said he did in the investigation on the CD, and Ho said that he can't comment on it. He was not there. That's the best you can come up with, Hos. That is the best you can come up with. Mshololo then said, so according to you, Colonel Stein did not work on this CD. And Ho said, according to my knowledge, no. Okay.
So Stein lied. But Stein didn't have Section 205. Up to you who you believe. That's why Stein had to go get those Section 205s. But Stein was focusing on the downloads.
Yet,
by his words.
Yet Stein had a Section 205 for Kelly's phone. That I remember. From 2014.
Yes.
Asasi. Well, Ho said that he does not know how Colonel Stein could have investigated the CD if it was still in the bag. The judge wanted to see the photos Ho's had of the sealed bag that he said he received, and instructed the photos to be shown to everyone. So here, the judge was telling Rose how to answer, and it seems like he was rather frustrated with the answers that Rose was giving around this time. And he
Yes.
was cleaning them up for him with the requesting of these photos. Well, the judge said that common sense is that Stain could not have worked on that bag.
Common
because
sense. You see what common sense does? Common sense is very dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Because now common sense tells me that the pictures that were taken there could have been pictures that were taken by a host. That's common sense also. What about that? Isn't that part of the common sense?
It is.
That's common sense. Did you check the date in which these pictures were taken? For you to use your common sense.
Because if he had worked on it, Rose said that it would have been in a resealed bag with a different seal bag number. There's something fishy here. There's something not right. There's a glitch somewhere here. And the question is, why is the judge invested in covering Rose in this
I'm
glitch?
very worried about that. I'm very worried. In fact, any witness is covered. But when it's time to throw that witness under the bus, such as common sense, that's a shade to Mshololo, by the way.
It was.
So Mshololo cannot think.
It was.
The same way, I find you lacking a lot of information before you think. You speak, your mouth is ahead of your mind, in my own opinion.
Process.
This is my own opinion, because common sense also tells me that a normal person would have asked for, when was this picture taken?
By who?
By who? By you. When was it taken? Does it align with you working on this case? Starting to work on this case? Then common sense could creep in. But common sense without thoroughly investigation is dangerous.
Very dangerous. It's very dangerous. Because now he's going on concluding things that are inconcludable. Like
defending the indefensible.
This is still hanging, by the way, this sealback number situation. It makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense. Well, Mshololo then said, help me to understand this. So in other words, you are saying that Colonel Steyn did not work on this disc, did not conduct any investigation on this disc that was handed to you. Am I correct? And Ho said that according to his knowledge, yes. Mshololo then said, Colonel Steyn also mentioned the number ending with, or rather the number, I'm going to quote it in full, 0791490821. He said it was linked to Mr. Ntuli, accused number 5. And Ho said that he does not know, he was not present. Colonel Steyn said that the number belonged to the late Mabongo Ntuli. That's what Mshololo said. I remember this part of evidence. And Ho said that he was never asked to do any analysis on that number. He said that he does not know who it belongs to and can't comment on it. And Mshololo then said, the point that I'm making is that the numbers that are contained in your evidence, the identity is capable of being changed after it has been said that they belong or are linked to Mr. Ntuli. Ho said that that's according to the investigating officer. He's just an analyst. When you are found cornered and wondering,
subsequently,
the judge asked Hose, in this assertion, Ms. Mshololo says that your analysis or you analysts are capable of committing fraud and misrepresenting the true facts to suit a particular exigency.
This is where the judge is saying, please rebut this, in my opinion. Please. That's why he puts it in a harsher way.
In a harsh condition.
So that it provokes a response that is gonna debunk that. Try to, that's what the judge has been doing all along.
Sure. Well, Ho said, no, my lord.
You see, no, that's the first thing. No, we are not fraudsters. And then he goes on, the judge, to read the swearing in of or even that affidavit, that oath that you take when you write that affidavit?
Yes, he went on to read
the
it.
Judge.
The affidavit, there's a part where you saw at the beginning.
So this is like a judge saying, you said this.
You said that you will be honest.
You must say this. Say that you said that you'll be honest.
And Rose put it in. He said, yes, in my honesty, my honest. Guys, there's stuff happening in that court. I'm telling you, if you're not watching, you will not understand. You will not understand the level of frustration that we have reached in that court with what is happening in there. It's not right. It's really not right what is happening in there. But we are all like, okay, maybe, okay, like.
Make sure that you tell Mshololo that you understand what lies will do to you. Make sure of that.
Yeah, my way. Well, Mshololo then said, let's continue to check the truthfulness of your testimony. Yesterday, you testified that accused number 2 used the number 076050968990, contacted Fiso Kutlentuli, accused number 5 at 071-5951-239 2 times. Accused number 4 also connected to accused number 5 using the same number 071-5951-239. The same number contacted 0793797 of Moses Bia 35 times. It also contacted accused number 2 3 times. It also contacted accused number 4 118 times. Mshololo said the person who owns the number is Lungisani. She said that she was going to show host that the investigating team was wrong in giving him this information. She said she called this number before they started and asked for permission of the court to call the person now and put it on the loudspeaker. And the judge said, no, that's not allowed.
You cannot call the devil from heaven.
No.
Those are the words.
She then went on to say
I wonder
that
who's in heaven, who's in
hell.
Who's in hell.
She then went to say that she will call Lungisani to come and testify, and the judge said that that is allowed. The judge asked who this person is. Why is the judge not wanting to wait to see who the person is when they come and testify? This felt more like a probing question. And he probed further later on to try and find the relation, to find if they are related. And I'm like, Judge, this person has not even come to testify yet. And you want to know the relationship they have with the accused number 5? You are probing. Why are you probing so much to this witness? Let's let him come and testify, and he will speak on his own behalf who he is.
Yes.
Like, why do you want to know before the witness comes to testify? It feels like you're probing, and I don't understand
and
why.
It's not like you are listening to the fact that that person is going to come and testify, because later on you are found asking the same name. Who's that name?
Yes.
That shows that you don't pay attention to the defense when they are saying something.
Well, Mshololo asked for an adjournment to call Lungisani and get his surname. And after the short adjournment, Mshololo confirmed that the number belongs to Lungisani Ndwandwe. And Mshololo said that this number belongs to Lungisani Ndwandwe, which you cannot deny to Hose. And Hose said that he received it from the investigating team. So now Hose has received all of these numbers from the investigating team. He's received them.
Subsequently.
He's received them from the investigating team.
Subsequently.
And Mshololo said, and the second person, Sibia, contacted with Nduli on the same number, which is in Ndwandwe's. And Hose said, correct. Hose confirmed that the number he was given by the investigation team. And Mshololo said, and you were told it belonged to Nduli and you didn't get it from the service provider. And Hose said that he never contacted the service provider, but got the information from the investigating team.
After the judge interfered also.
Yes.
To say that, yeah, this person, this witness has been saying
I find this very problematic. That
Let
a
him
whole
say
cell phone
10
analyst
times, 20 times.
has no contact, no communication, no. At least with Stein, I remember him also being asked about how Apple, they cannot get access because it's not yet in South Africa. The police can't open Apple iPhones because of wara systems and whatnot. It honestly felt more like Stein knew what he was talking about, in my opinion, when he was testifying. Although we could have, we had our own, opinions. But
he kind of portrayed, funny that, you know what is funny about this case?
What?
There's common thing that keeps on happening. It's funny when you have these people, you point out few things that are wrong there and there, you think are wrong there and there. Then comes someone who's gonna be an extreme of that. The judge,
for example,
Mr. Afro had
we had a problem.
His pace also, we felt it was slow and all that,
and also the shouting, the defense.
Yeah, but there was a bit of maturity there.
Boy, we were not ready for this current.
And then come this super bike, and then things change. It goes left. This one is interfering, not as quiet as Maumela, is testifying, is doing everything. We had Stein, who sounded like there was a bit of truth in what you said. In fact, we did say that. There's a bit of truth in most of the things that they're saying.
Yes.
Oh, comes this one now.
Host is extreme.
It's an extreme part of what we saw from Stein.
It's like, let me do what Stein failed to do. It's giving that energy,
yes,
in my opinion.
It has that energy. I am worried about what we're seeing in these cases. Like, it's very scary.
Well, Ho said, I never contacted the service provider, but get the information from the investigating team. Well, Mshololo said, you didn't get that information from the service provider. And Ho said, I already answered that. Well, the judge was fagazing again, adding on that he gets his info from the investigating officers, not the service providers. And Mshololo told Hose that she did not want the third person. She's asking Hose. She pointed at Hose and said, I am asking you that you did not get this information from the service provider. Is that correct? And Hose said, I've already answered that question. Mshololo was not having it. I even saw her. She was looking straight at the host. She was not even looking at the judge. It's like, I'm not asking a third person. I'm asking you. Can this happen every other 2 days, week, or a monthly? Well, Mshololo said, and you don't know where the investigating team got that information from. And Ho said that's correct. The judge and Baloyi had a problem with Mshololo claiming that the number belonged to Lungisani Ndwande. So it's not true that accused number 5 made contact with all of the accused. He said Ndwandwe must come. This is the judge. He said Ndwandwe must come to court and give evidence.
It is start putting theories. This is where I have a problem. You start saying maybe this number is a duplicate.
Yeah.
Now, we still have a person from the so-called network service provider that is going to come. Now you are starting to put theories.
Yeah,
what is that person gonna come and say, since they expect that is you has spoken?
Actually, it went that far. Baloyi said that it could be a duplication because they are yet to call a service provider.
The judge said that.
And they said that the numbers can be duplicated.
This
is already placing doubt on the state's case, by the way, that you're
not
working
where we
with
are
duplicates.
Coming. That's where we are coming now, and there's gonna be this so-called service provider expect, if it's an expect, who's going to come and say what you guys are saying? Is that the position that the service provider is taking?
And I'm already getting a feeling as well that the judge has already prepared an argument to come and debunk Lungisani's evidence. In my opinion, I feel like he's already preparing. I mean, why mention a duplicate? Why throw it in there? This person has not yet come to testify yet. Why can't you wait for them to testify? Prove, like you said.
You know the funny thing is,
why are you throwing a duplicate in there?
Let me show you two sides of this. The judge believes that this number belongs to
accused number 5.
Accused number 5.
Yes.
That is a theory that comes from the states.
Yes.
But Mshololo comes with a theory that actually this number is in existence as we speak. The owner of this number is so and so. Then the issue of duplicate comes in.
Now the issue of duplicate.
And now the question of whether they are related or not comes in. After the break. That question of whether they are related or not is after the break,
yes,
right?
Yes, it's after the
which
long
shows
agenda.
that something, somewhere, somehow, this judge is able to sangomarize that this Ndwande actually could be a relative. Why would you ask that question after the break?
Why? I also found it strange.
Why would you come back and say, are they related? Wait, who's giving you that?
Sure.
When we take breaks,
They're thinking there.
You're thinking there, Judge. Yeah?
They're thinking they're strategizing or whatever.
Is that, are you thinking alone, chilling there, thinking, oh, let me ask this question. And it happens to be that they are related.
And if the number is a duplicate, right? Let's say, if that's the case, why are you insisting that it belongs to accused number 5 when accused number 5 says it doesn't belong to me?
Why are you taking that theory from the state? That's a question.
That's a question I have. Well, host gave the period of the calls to be 10 June 2018 to 22 April 2020 after the incident in October 2014, 25th August 2020 up until the 8th of December 2020 for Mapisa, 11th of August 2018 to the 28th of November 2020 after the incident of October 2014. Contact with accused number 1 35 times from the 10th of January 2018 to the 22nd of April 2020 and the 6th of April to the 9th of December 2020, and the last one was 18 times and it was from the 11th of August 2018 to the 27th of November 2020. So Mshololo moved on to another affidavit which is not yet before the court, she said, and she said that it is written that accused number 3 Mtobisi Ngube at with the number 08295632220 communicated with accused number 5 Fisogutlon Tuli with the number 0715951239 3 times. Accused number 5 says that that is not his number, and therefore he never communicated with accused number 3 as per this information contained in this bulletin. So Ho said that that is information that he received. Mshololo wanted the time periods again and what was the timeline of that communication from 0764270007 and 0829563220 under Mtobisi Ngube, accused number 3. And Ho said that from the 1st of November 2014 to the 25th of January 2015. So Mshololo asked for a short adjournment to consult with other counsel. The judge, however, had a problem with Mshololo going to her client when they raised their hand and asked for the procedure.
He made it seem like he's got a problem that Mshololo is not listening to the witness.
And this is strange because Mshololo said that it is allowed for her to go and consult with her client. I mean, we've seen it before. It's nothing new. And he claims that Mshololo left the witness hanging. Baloyi said that it is for counsel to make sure that the proposition being put is correct. So Advocate Baloyi also saw nothing wrong with Mshololo going to his client. So it felt like the judge was really gunning for Mshololo here, Shem. It felt that way. And after the long adjournment, Mshololo apologized for disturbing the witness when he was testifying, although she did not actually, because I had to replay it.
No.
She did not disturb the witness at all, and she didn't
have... The guy
have...
stopped talking.
He stopped talking and it was being interpreted. In fact, she was about to ask a question and then she stopped to ask for permission from the judge to see if she cannot attend accused number 5. So whatever the judge was claiming happened there, it did not happen. I don't know what is wrong, but something is not right. Well, Advocate Mshololo continued questioning on the contact between the accused Ntuli with Ntobisi Ngube, and Mshololo said that you are saying that accused number 3 contacted Ntuli, accused number 5, and the communication period from the 2nd of November 2014 to January 2015. And accused number 5 denies that the number that it belongs to him, but to Lungisani. And Ho said that he understood. So Mshololo said, so the accused version is that he admits that the number 0764270007 that he communicated with accused number 3 using 072-7668169. And Ho said, thank you. Well, turns out that this is the number that Colonel Steyn said was linked to Kelly Khumalo's booking number of 2014. Apparently, there are some people who went back to Steyn's evidence, and he did mention this number and said, I think it's the one that called Kelly for 2 minutes or something like that for the booking.
But what about what Ngomezulu said?
Ngomezulu also said that there's a section 205 from Kelly's phone, which
does not
Colonel
link.
Steyn presented, which does not link any of the accused.
Yes. So don't hold your breath on that. People listen or hear what they want to hear.
People hear what they want to hear, ne?
Yeah.
Well, Mshololo then said that he denies communicating with accused number 3 during that time, 2nd November 2014 to the 25th of January 2015. Any knowledge of the number 07239958787, he doesn't know it. Ho said that he does not know it was given by the investigators. So Mshololo said Fiso Ntuli at 0715951239, which is the number according to our version, belongs to Lungisani Ndwande, accused number 3, belongs to Lungisani, and accused number 3 Ndwande at 07263668169 6 times. Ho said that it was from the 1st of November 2014 to the 25th of January 2015. And Mshololo asked, accused number 5 says that he never communicated with accused number 3 on that number of 0715951239 during the period because that number belongs to Lungisani. And because he was not using that number, and Ho said that's why they rectified it. And Mshololo said, you said accused number 3 contacted Fiso Ntuli 11 times. And Mshololo also said that accused number 5 denies that phone number. He does not know it. And Ho said that information was given to him by investigators. Accused number 5 denies using the number because it belonged to Lungisani. And Ho said that he understood. And Mshololo said Fiso Ntuli contacted accused number 3 26 times. What was the time frame there? And Ho said 24th of October 2014 to the 17th of January 2015. And Mshololo said accused number 5, Mr. Ntuli, admits using the cell phone number of 0733059202 and communicating with Ntobisi at 0727668169. And Ho said, noted, my lord. So Mshololo now went on to the cell phone numbers that Colonel Rembarta Steyn said belonged to accused number 5, Fizo Kuhlentuli. And these numbers, 5 of them. The first one, 076973517 078, the second one 798335, the third one 076642707, and the fourth one is 0713029 and the fifth one is 0723995787. So Mshololo said that these numbers hosts used are the same ones that Steyn testified on. And then she asked host how did he get the information, and host said that it was given to him by the investigating team, the consumer tracing report. Do you remember Steyn speaking on this?
Yeah, consumer tracing. Yes.
Him testifying on this, and I don't remember host testifying on it much. It's only mentioned now.
So this is where the problem
under
is.
cross-examination.
Consumer tracing is not accurate, right? So I can use my mother's number, I can use my sister's number, I can anyone.
Yes. And
then you come here present that evidence as if you have some intelligence other than consumer tracing. It's
none of this would be happening if they just contacted the service providers, all of them. None of this would be subjected to this mediocrity.
It is mediocre.
I also remember Steyn testifying on this XDS consumer credit report.
Yeah, I do remember that too.
So I don't understand why host now wants to lean on it this much when we had a problem even when Steyn was using it.
Yeah.
Because it's not really reliable. Because you can use anybody's number to do anything these days.
Now, what it is made out to be now, initially, if you almost missed this, it was as if this man was using these numbers, interchanging them. It was portrayed like that initially under Steyn. Now it is being clarified. No. We're using consumer trace report. So, for some weird reason, people of no color always assume that we put correct numbers when we borrow money.
Or when we buy stuff.
I don't know how we reach that. Because we use the number that is available.
That we can recall. I know for a long time I used to use my father's number for literally everything. That's because I didn't have a phone.
All we want is to get those clothes.
Yes, I didn't have a phone.
All we want is
I got a phone very late in my life.
To get those sofas.
And for the longest time, having that phone, I couldn't keep the number in my head. So for everything, I would apply using my dad's number.
My mother uses my number for almost everything that it does on credit. When they call me to verify. I must say, yeah, I'm the son.
See, I don't know how we got to that where a cell phone number is now being likened to an ID number. Like it is supposed to be that number that defines you. And we interchange. I mean, the number that I remember is the one that I'll be used for that occasion. Well, Ho said no, it does not tell which consumer it is because Mshololo had asked that he used this consumer trace record to pull these other numbers. However, that report could not tell the specific consumers because it's very weird that now they are saying, or Host is saying that they took it from this consumer tracking thing. And that is how, because yesterday I had a question. I'm like, how come does one of the accused have so many numbers linked to them? And they use this consumer thing. How? Wouldn't it have been better to go to the networks? Why don't we have evidence that is from the networks? Why do we have this mess from the consumer report? How? No, guys, no. So those numbers could literally belong to anybody. Some people even use fake numbers for certain things that they apply for. So I don't. Some people, when they take loans. So it's a mess. So Mshololo said that accused number 5 denied any knowledge of using the cell phone number of 0713029917, and Ho said that according to the consumer tracing report, he gave that number on the 29th of January 2015. The judge asked if that person was identified by his or her ID number, and Ho said that that was correct. How is it correct? Riddle me this. This consumer credit report now gives you the ID numbers, but it can't give you the specifics of the person that bought. Because Mshololo just asked, does it reveal the consumer? Does it reveal the person who bought the stuff? And Ho said, ask the investigating team, or he didn't answer the question. But now the judge wants to put more solidity, or wants to put this as something that is a fact, to say that the ID number, does the consumer report now reveal the ID number? And Ho said that is correct. So if it reveals the ID number, how can it not reveal the consumer? The person that bought? I don't understand what's happening with this judge, guys. It's a lot. Okay? So the picture here that is being painted is that accused number 5 purchased whatever he purchased using his ID number, but someone else's cell phone number, even though we don't know who that number belongs to. Mshololo then said accused number 5 with the number 07887983335 also denies that number belongs to him. And Ho said in 2012 this number was also given. Mshololo said that he denies using that number of 0769735176 at the time you say. And Ho said that he gave that number on the 22nd of September 2019. When was accused number 5 arrested? He was arrested 2018.
I'm also confused. Because I think
so if he gave the number on the 22nd of September 2019 at some consumer-ish thing, is that even his number? Mshololo then said accused number 5 also denies using that other number, saying that it belongs to his mother, who is now deceased. So they got, remember, you said sometimes you use your mom's number. I know I used my dad's number a lot. Now I'm not gonna lie, I used my dad for literally anything. I remember even with my applications to stuff, my dad's number. If you want me, you'll find me there. Well, then Mshololo said 0733059202 is the number that accused number 5 admits belongs to him. The judge asked host to give them the date in which it was activated there. He asked him how did he acquire it on the XDS. The judge was not writing anything all along as Mshololo was cross-examining. However, this part, after asking Rose this question, he started to write down. And Rose said that on 24th of November 2012. So the number Officer Kuhlentuli Mshololo said 0715951239 was saved on the SIM card index number 75 as Lungisani, and Ho said that's correct. So the number belongs to Lungisani Ndwandwe. Now the judge wanted to know who is Lungisani, if he's related to the client, and Mshololo went to ask accused number 5. When Mshololo came back, she said that the client, Mr. Ntuli, informs her that Lungisani Ndwandwe is his cousin. So host now read Colonel Stein that where he alleged that accused number 5 / Lungisani's number made contact with all of the accused. Mshololo asked him if it was identified by him or someone else, and host said that it was not by him but by the investigating team and Colonel Stein, and through section 205 it was established that the number made contact with all the accused. But you said earlier on that the disc, you got it. Colonel Stein did not work on the disc. So now conveniently the baton goes back to Colonel Stein. And Mshololo said this section 205 is from which service provider that you have used or seen. And Mshololo also asked the accused is denying this number, and he says that it belongs to Lungisani. So we will wait for the day when we receive that section 205 for this number. The judge said that an investigator could be investigating another case and not 636. And during that case, he made an application for section 205. He identifies accused number 5's number through a section 205 of another number. So in other words, you look and you will not find who loaded the section 205. Can't the judge naring mo? What is he saying? Is he saying that even the section 205s do not have who summoned the section 2 or who worked on the section 205s? What is he saying, guys? Mshololo said that the expect from the service provider is still coming. The judge said that he has sat on these cases 1,000,000 times. That's why he says that Ho said through the section 205, not in terms of the section 205. Like that means anything. That does not mean anything. Literally, you are saying that the section 205s do not have who asked for them or who worked on them.
The judge is in this part saying that the section 2, he actually creates a theory. Say the section 205 would have been from another case. In this point, we would only assume the case of Makubo.
Yes, for accused number 5.
Because that's why accused number 5 is there. Then from there, because of that, then the system, the system that they work with, trying to explain what he was trying to say.
Okay, please.
So you will never find it because of that. That maybe the investigation for 205 was from a different case by a different person. So you would not know who actually created this section 205.
But you will find it.
It's as in a sense, it's like he's saying that the section 205 could be there, but the state must not give, this is my theory, must not give the name of a person. That's what I had in my theory. In a sense, that's like cautioning that you are never going to find the name of a person who, because this might have been
especially if those section 205s are from Makubo's case of accused number 5.
That means this would mean, you know what this would mean?
That Makubo would have to be summoned again.
Or this would mean that also in this case, with regards to this case, they were never there.
They were never there.
They just created them somewhere. Yes.
They just pulled the ones from another case.
Yes. So not that they did pull that. Maybe there was no process of such.
There was no process.
So you cannot have a name of a person if there was no process. So we must create a theory to such an extent that it is difficult to actually get the person in the same system of South Africa, SAPS. We are not able to find who actually did this Section 205.
Sure.
Because remember, we're talking about the issue of 2018. This number goes back though.
Yes.
There is now one number that they admitted goes back to 2012, right?
12, yes.
Yeah, that's when it was created.
Yes.
So if there was Section 205, in that case, let me just say the theory of the judge is true. This Section 205 was done on the previous case. These numbers would be going back to 2015, 2014. Because that is 4 years according to Alois' theory. So we would know in 2014 who this man called.
Yes.
No, but no, we don't know that.
No, we don't.
We
and
don't
I
know
don't
that.
think we ever will. But we would if.
But
was
that
the
theory is got loopholes because it only seems to answer the issue of not availing the person who actually did this, which in my own opinion is that there was no one who did this. Which amounts to fabrication.
Well, Mshololo said, let's admit for the sake of progress and peace, even if you did not have the Section 205 records for the cell phone number 0715951239. However, through other Section 205 record, it was revealed that this number belonged to Mr. Ntuli. And Ho said that that was not his evidence. He said that there was no communication of this number with the other accused. He never said that it was identified through the investigation team, Colonel Steyn. They gave him the number, not through Section 205. By Section 205, he said that there was communication between this number with the other accused. So Mshololo said that I understand that, but my question is there any Section 205 records that revealed information regarding this number? And Ho said that there's no Section 205 on that specific number. So Mshololo said that she will start with her cross-examination of the evidence of the Section 205 records, and she will start by listing the number of statements of their respective police officers who have made requests for the Section 205s, respectively, and then ask the witness if there was any Section 205 in respect of those requests that he received and used in the report that is contained in the exhibit. The judge asked Mshololo to put it to the witness because, as he understands...
Do it now.
As he understands him, he has not dealt with any Section 205s except the one in Steyn's disc. So now he hasn't dealt with any Section 205s. The truth is now coming. Ooh, except for the ones in Steyn's disc. Now Steyn is being brought back. It's very difficult to take Steyn's work away from him. It's hard. It's an exercise. Well, Ho said that it's for the cell phone. And Advocate Mshololo will be continuing with the cross-examination tomorrow. Guys, the lines are now open. You can call in and share your opinion, your thoughts, your frustrations. You can rant. You can do whatever you want to do. Freedom has come. I'm going to listen because you have been listening to me for over a couple of minutes. I don't count. I don't count the minutes at all when I'm covering the trial. I just...
Good morning, Mzansi. This case ilishayisa ngovalo. Kodwa ke siyanibonga amaniloko anikhona. Nisithathe nisibeke. Muhle kakhulu umsebenzi. Mina, for my understanding, the name judge ngokwami nje understand the name judge, it leads to justice. But manje akubonakali kanjalo. Secondly, if niya notice, njalo judge if li objector noma mhlawumbe lilungisa into eliyibonayo, sekunale gama lengasali. I think if I'm not mistaken, Advocate Ngomezulu naye walisebenzisa the ambush, or case by ambush or something Mshololo. But every time manje judge ever since lelo gama lasetshenziswa uhleze phola ngalenza ukuthi kungathiwa senze ambush. So for us, the fans of footballs, there's no justice at all. But akukho kuhlula uNkulunkulu, but at this time everything is sobala ikona nje ukuthi kunje eSouth Africa yethu. Angibonge.
Yeah, even though with what we call it, the noise at the back, which is us.
Let me quickly translate. He said that according to him, the judge is supposed to mean justice, But and he also noticed that ever since Mgomezulu used the word ambush, the judge is using it now against the defense. He's using it. He's hammering on it a lot. And he said, for the fans of soccer, there's no justice at all.
I am Zanzibar. How are you?
South Africa.
Hello.
That's how it is. Hello.
Hello, good morning or good evening or good night, guys. Thanks for the good job. I just have got my 2 cents in terms of the proceedings, and then I've got maybe areas where I would need some clarity or you might need to explain to me and other points of my observations. Yeah, I'll start with the investigation. That was done by the SAPS. In my own personal opinion, I actually think they started with the suspects and they started investigating going backwards. They didn't start with what happened and then coming to identify who was involved. No. They first got the suspects and then they started building the case on the suspects, going backwards. It's just that, like now, you see that some of the information is not coming together because it's not going back to 2014. For example, this cell phone data. I mean, it's a waste of time to talk about calls that were made between the 3 suspects or 4 suspects in 2018, 2020. It's just pointless because what does it have to do with the murder of Meyiwa? Nothing. That's one. And then the second point is the Section 205. The honest truth, Mr. Anonymous and Emily, the honest truth from my own observation listening to this case now, there were no Section 205 for this case. That's my view. And I believe so, because if they were, we wouldn't have even adjourned and wait for another month to get these things. If they were there, they would have come with it the following day. They would have come with these things. But the fact that they were not there, that's why. You see, the only number that they with the Section 205 that goes back to 2014 is Carlos. Only. And Carlos is because he was arrested in 2015, and there was a Section 205 then. And then they pulled it. And then when the issue of Section 205 was raised by Mshololo and the team, they went and looked for the 205s. That's why they are only going back to 2018, because if you are in 2020, 2023, you can only go as far as 5 years or 4 years just to get the information. My question with the Section 205 though is, can you really use the Section 205 from another case for your case? That's my question. Because from where I'm coming from, I don't think it's possible, because you need to convince your judge when you're doing the affidavit to submit for in Section 205, you need to convince someone that I'm investigating this case, I need this Section 205. So you cannot go and just take my Section 205 from 2015 and use it. I think this. I'm not a legal person, but I don't think it should work like that. Yeah, and then the other point that I wanted to make is, I know we want justice for Senzo, and we'll all be happy if Kelly can be arrested. But unfortunately, guys, I'm sorry to break that bubble. There is no way Kelly can be arrested, because there is nothing that points Kelly to these guys. Zero. And if Kelly can be arrested, Kelly is my age. I'm turning 41. I'll be happy for her. You know why? She will definitely retire from singing or anything. She will be rich, because she's going to sue the police for that. She will get a lot of money. I know for sure. Because there is nothing. Because if there was any withdrawal or even a cell phone conversation that links Kelly to this case, the police would have already brought it. Because each time they name drop Kelly's name is just to make it breaking news or headline, but nothing else. Because really, Mr. Anonymous, without a conversation or without an SMS, can you really arrest someone? No, you can't. Because even if there's a number that called Kelly, those guys will just come. I was just trying my luck to propose to Kelly. What do you say?
Nothing.
Well, nothing. Because calling someone is not a crime. Even now, Baloy coming saying there's a link between this and that. It's not a crime to call someone. It's not. And how does that link to the case? Zero. So, the judge. I know when I'm listening to, especially our ma'am, you get worried when the judge does his own theatrics. Me, I don't really get worried, because for him to mix these cell phone records to the event of 2014, it's an uphill task. That's what. The second point is the gun. Let me just finish. The gun. The gun is another big point that they really have to prove that is the gun, because if the people who are inside the house are saying it's a revolver, and then the police is saying it's a 9mm, who do you believe, even when you're writing your judgment? You cannot overwrite a person who was in the house. You can't. You have to go back to the person in the house, because it's the one who saw the gun on the day, not on investigation. It will be hard for Rata to come up with a judgment. And whatever judgment he comes with, even if he convicts these guys, I'll be happy for them. They might not have money, but one day there will be an appeal. I know there are these organizations that actually work on people who are arrested unfairly and illegally. They work on these cases and get them out. They will definitely get these guys out. Because so far, I don't see anything. That will be my 2 cents. And thanks for taking my call. And keep on doing the good job. One assignment that I want you guys to go back to do is, if you get a chance, may you please go back and watch the press conference of the police minister and police commissioner when the suspects were arrested. It was in October 2020, I think, when they had a press conference. You just go back and listen to it, and then you get to understand what the information that they were saying the police got and to where we are now. Because there, it mixed with Mr. Anonymous' theory when you said you are writing a thesis, you've got a conclusion. And Emily, you said you've got a conclusion, and then you went backward to find out, even though you're trying to match everything to make to your conclusion. But if you listen to that press conference, it gives you an idea what the case police was saying. They have the case against these guys, and then later you realize that there's nothing, because there was emphasis on the gun and the cell phone. Okay. Of which, after listening to the cell phone, I discredit. The gun, we'll wait for the expert to come. I think it's next week. We hear what will be the conclusion after the gun, but I'm not too worried about the gun as well. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. We had to give him finish his points. I'm sorry for that. Let's try to be short as possible. I know yesterday we didn't call. People have a lot of things to say.
Yes.
Zanzi, hello.
Hi guys. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great. How are you?
I'm well. My comment today will be in the context of Wednesday's proceedings. Yes, because yesterday you guys were not taking calls.
Yes.
You know, on Wednesday, the circus was in town in Pretoria. You know, all the clowns, the jugglers, and the acrobats were out. You know, but I was just so glad that, you know, the defense played a very beautiful chess move. You know, it was just a beautiful, merry sight to see the defense standing their ground. You know, Numalo did a swell job. You know, he was on cruise control and gently so, you know, he was taking his time and just calmly doing his thing. You know, Rata tried to save the day a few times, but the anchor was not anchoring. You know, the ship kept tilting and rocking sideways, and eventually we heard about data from 2014, which Baloy had initially denied that is present. You know, because, you know, I carry Ratayana, he's the captain of the ship, he's the cleaner, he's the engineer, and he's the cook also in there. So, you know, and it was just so weird to hear host fretting and tripping over himself a few times there. You know, all I can say is that, you know, mediocre is acceptable within important institutions in our country. You know, employees can just do the bare minimum with no consequence. You know, values of integrity, honesty, and excellence they profess are not even worth the paper that they're written on. You know, the likes of hosts can, you know, bestow the title of expert upon themselves and still come to court and claim ignorance, you know, and just simply push responsibility to someone else. But month end, they extend their hand to get rewarded for doing a shoddy job. You know, in my opinion, lastly, I don't think that Baloyi is about justice for the Meyiwa family. You know, because what I've seen, in my own experience from my job, I've noticed that a lot of prosecutors, when they take a case to trial, it's not in the pursuit of justice for the victims, but it's rather a prospective professional achievement. It's like they're competing in a sport, and the defense is the opponent. It's like there is a medal or a trophy that is at stake that they want to win. So winning a case for them is like adding another medal to their collection of achievements. Justice for the victims is just a byproduct of them winning a case. It's secondary to their professional or personal achievement. Hence, when they do interview, for example, they usually say things like, I have never lost a single case, instead of saying, I have managed to secure justice for X amount of victims and their families. One example that stands out for me is that famous, mention the names of the people involved in there, but we all know, if we're all old enough, we can remember that famous case that was televised and had us all glued to our screens in 1995. After that case, the prosecutors in that case could not handle the loss. They took it so personally that they actually walked away from their jobs, because a win would have been a platinum medal, not even a gold medal, a platinum one. So the way Baloyi is doing things right now, piling new evidence on left, right, and center, delaying to give documents to the defense, it shows that this is about him. It's not only for him, but it is also a win. And it's also that a win will also put the new kid on the block, Siban, down the map, and it will elevate him to the next level on the tier. So this is not about justice. And lastly, I'll just like to say, you know what? It takes a special kind of person, people, to watch this case, take everything in, break it down, and just deliver such a brilliant analysis like you guys do. Because you know what? When I'm watching that case, most of the time, I just have a mind block. I get up all in my emotions. I don't understand what's going on. I'm getting irritated by the old man interfering many times. So it really takes a special kind of people to be able to do what you guys are doing. And you know what? I'm so glad, and I really appreciate the work that you guys are doing, because I would be in the dark. I wouldn't really know what's going on. So just to show our appreciation, I still encourage our viewers to, to keep liking the video, keep bringing the super chats, keep sharing, keep commenting, just keep doing your thing. We really love you guys, and we are supporting you. I love you guys so much. You take care and have a lovely rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, I appreciate that so much.
Oh, we appreciate it. Mzansi, hello.
Hi, Mr. Anonymous and Mr. Emily. How are you guys this evening?
Hi, Jonathan.
Hi, Jonathan. How are you doing?
We are good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm sitting with excitement for what I'm doing this coming weekend. But just to add two points, not to be long this evening. I think today I just want to compliment what did they call him? Black Mamba? I forgot his name now. Malo, yes, and Mshololo. Why it's I think it's based on them taking the time to place their matters and not worried about the clock, because I'm also confused to some extent, because I thought Monday was sometime when they met, it was like host was only gonna be for Wednesday.
That's what
something
I also
was said.
thought. Yes.
Yeah, because I think there was something that was said that it was only gonna be available for Wednesday.
Yes.
And I was like, Hutsu, like they keeping him on the stand. And I like when the judge asked at lunch, because it was so heated, it's like, are you going to be here after lunch? It's like, I have no choice. I think one of the things also that made me laugh, I laughed so loudly, was when Rata wanted, which is a thing that I hate, because Rata's not just interjecting. He's leading the witness. And what appalls me is that the defense is not objecting to that. and because they should object. Because as much as Rata is objecting for clarity or whatever, they can say, but you are leading the witness. Because before he answers, he stops and then interjects and gives an answer. And that's where Mshololo said, but he was about to answer. And I think when it happened when Baloy also interjected, and the judge, because what Baloy was saying was not covering up to what Rata wanted, and then he said, no, the witness was about to answer. And I think for me, I would just want is that the defense actually do say to the court, we object to the leading of the witness, because if they don't object to those things now, it's fine if they're going to take the judge to SCA, whatever, but they have to put it, as much as they say, I'm putting this matter on record because they know they want it to be on record, but also to object because they're not immune, or the judge is not immune to an objection, especially when he's leading the witnesses. And it has been happening, but I was missing that today or yesterday. One more thing is that where I said I laughed so hard is that host was asked the question, and Mshololo was expecting an answer, but Rata was interjecting to give him how to answer, but then I think it was the seeding thing. I can't remember now because I'm trying to speak fast. And then you could see Rata's face, like he was like that. He rolled his eyes and he cringed because the answer that host gave, he didn't want him to give that answer because he was trying to protect him from answering that
question.
And poor host answered, and Rata was so disappointed. You could see it on his face. And I just laughed because I was like, this is the thing that you've been trying to do. And this guy that moment actually revealed that you're protecting the witnesses, you're protecting Baloy, because Baloy doesn't do anything now. He's just sitting there. The judge is doing his job, or is seeking clarity. But for me, basically, most of the questions are on point, and I'm appreciating that Mshololo wasn't taking, as you said, Mr. Anonymous, that she wasn't allowing him to, like the thing that he does with Gomezulu, of detracting them, and then Gomezulu will take a while to say, hey, you just messed up my trail of thought now. And she was not allowing that. And I think at some point she was really pissed off, but she couldn't say anything. But I also appreciate that when he asked that question, to her, I know that you mentioned it, she veered away from, she just ignored it, blatantly ignored it, and just continued with the question. And I think that's a good way to deal with Rata now. It's just, yes. And I expected him to actually insist that she answered if it was a genuine question, but because it wasn't genuine, he didn't go back to it, because if it was genuine, he was going to insist that she actually answers the question or place it on record what she meant about that. But I think we're heading for fireworks tomorrow or later today as well.
Yeah.
And I'm appreciating that at least Mshololo won't be absent today.
Yeah.
As usual. But yeah, I think thank you for your analysis, and thank you for always. It was unfortunate what you guys had to go through with the mics things, but we hope that those who can contribute actually help towards that as well. But all the best day. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jonathan, and have a wonderful day.
Right.
Oh, yes.
Someone is saying, Mr. Edmas and Emily, just observe Baloy is losing confidence. That is someone on WhatsApp. Yes, Emily.
No, I meant to say that Konje Mshololo in Fridays.
Yeah,
I'm laughing.
Yeah, guys, let's continue liking the video. Let's press the like button as we continue reading and hearing your voice notes and doing. Mzansi, hello? Zanzi, hello.
Hello, njani?
Sikhona njani?
Khona. I-problem angifuna ukwazi ukuthi ifoni yaLungisani Ndwandwe
Yeah.
bayi-downloade njani ngoba ikuyo.
Hey.
And second thing yokuthi uyayikhumbula i-case yathula uMadonsela no-Brian Molisi.
Yeah.
Le case wathi uthuli uthole ukubona uBrian ngibambambeke ifoni aya kuGoogle ayo uBrian wathena bebona ukuthi why bangachizi ukuthi labafana bebakuphi lesikhathi bafonela nabo indawo khona. Yeah, thank you.
Yabonga kakhulu. Yes. Very, very short and sweet. He's asking why are they not using the same strategy that was used to Brian Molife when he was asked about his whereabouts. I think it was a story of Gupta's, if you remember.
Yes.
Where it was alleged that he went to meet certain people. Why are they not employing the very same strategy so that we get closer to the answers of this case? Because that will actually put these people where they are supposed to be. But because, in my own thinking, to answer that, because obviously there is nothing that is going to point to these people going closer to that house. That's why we are not in this situation of trying to map them where they were. But also, I think they were using the same strategy that as that one of house of where just putting them at Force Loras. Isn't it the same strategy they were using to Brian?
I don't quite
Yeah,
remember.
I'll check it. I'll check that out.
I'll have to look at it again because it's been so long.
Okay, someone is saying, don't these findings of the cell phone experts include WhatsApp message? Because to my knowledge, I think these accused did have WhatsApp on their phones, and why is everything so easy to duplicate when it suits the judge? I think now they are busy trying with the ballistic expert to link these accused to the crime allegedly. I think Sibanda was SMSing. Gininda was Mshololo was talking about the disc being opened or sealed before it reached house. Allegedly, the judge is now all over the arena. Baloyi is on leave. This is someone who is saying this on WhatsApp. Yes, we do take your calls. Thank you. That was a short one in terms of the caller.
Yes.
Yes.
That's
Guys,
so effective.
So effective, yes. Guys, thank you very much. If there's no one who's going to call, I'll proceed and say thank you, Tabi Soem Daung. I saw, okay, he's talking to someone else, I think. Ansi K. Moyo, thank you. Thank you again for being here as a member, as a moderator, as everything. Mina, Sangwen, they are leaving Rata to lead the witness as it's on record, and they will highlight all these discrepancies on special entry. The more he does all these discrepancies, the more evidence for the defense. We get you where you come from. And then Dan, thank you for being with us. Let me see. Let me start here. Dimagazo, thank you for being with us. Dimagazo Lamini and Sizum Gaga, thank you. And Ansike Moyes, I've mentioned you. Net, thank you for being here, our moderator. Thank you for reminding people to like, and yes, continue to like the video as usual. Thank you for that. Modley, thank you for being here in our comments. Tozi Slanga, thank you for starting the video afresh. I saw that and watching. And guys, please like the video. Please watch some of these adverts. Unfortunately, that's the only thing that helps us. So you are helping us. If you interact with them, if you find something that you like, obviously this is just an advert. It doesn't come from us, but it comes from
from the YouTube.
And then Mami, thank you. We thank you for being here. We thank you. I think the Magazo has been mentioned. And Monet D, thank you for being here, saying poor host, shame. And thank you, Monet.
It's drowning, host. Host is drowning.
Matoba, thank you for being here. Colin Avidal, Vadival. Yeah, sorry, man. It's Colin Vadival. Thank you for being here. Sizum Kaka, I've mentioned you. Tabiso M. Taung, I've mentioned you. Who am I missing here? Who's supposed to be here? Tuli Tools, I saw you, I think, at the beginning. Lulama Trai, thank you. Positive Vibes with T, thank you for being here. And Ibuo, thank you for being here. Paul Manjani, thank you for being here. Ntabi, thank you for being here. I see if I'm missing anyone. Jeremiah was also here. BJ was also here. Gaby was also here. Gaby being our first commenter. Togo Msweli was also here. Tabenkulu and Tabenkulu was also here. Prudence Sibanyoni was also here. The boy has been mentioned. Ozi Dube was also here. Mamela Skunana was also here. And Whitson Majaya was also here. Christina was also here. And then Samuel Radeb was also here. I think guys, I've read most of you. If I missed you, then you'll comment below so that I get to mention you. I saw Sibanda also here. Uncle Nails was also here. Niels was also here. So Lufate was also here. Please like the video. Yes, thank you, Lufate, our moderator also, and our member. Thank you, Lufate. We see you. Joseph Mjali was also here. And Emily, are you getting any of that people that are missing?
Yes. You know, I always struggle with
You always struggle. Yes.
I repeat the names that Mr. Anonymous has already mentioned.
Sibanda, yes. I see. I memorized these names by head. Sibanda's cartel.
So I come in and I call the names and like, I've already called them.
Tembelani Kanye, Night Tembelani Kanye, CN Poker. Thank you. You always have a better timing because you.
Betty Emily was also here. Yes, I was also here.
Yes. Thank you very much, guys. I think this is where we end. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. And until tomorrow, it's a bye from us.